For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. I'm worried about humanity. That's the entire intro. That's what we're talking about today. It starts on The Scribble right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
JB here on The Scribble. All right, so I know that was a very vague introduction, but let me just tell you. AI, this whole AI thing is not new. I mean, we know what it is. We know what it's capable of. We know that, we can be duped by fake videos and audio and pictures and whatever it is. And I would think that people would be a little bit more on alert, not on alert, but just more suspicious, more kind of taking a moment to sort of assess something and go, is this real? Is this not real? And so I've actually witnessed this over the past couple of weeks. Well, months. I would say months. Actually, it started around Christmas time, I believe. And so then I saw something on social media today that just made me go, wow, people... I mean, I'll just be blunt, as I usually am on this show. People are stupid. That people are falling for certain things just makes me go, wow. Back in the day, it used to be that seniors would get, it might have been like a telephone scam, or somebody would come to the door selling something, right? And they'd hand over their credit card number or whatever, thinking that they're buying something or signing up for something or whatever it might be. And then they're just taken, their money's taken and they're screwed over, really, by some crooked person or company or whatever the entity is. And so it used to be that, right? That it's the old people that are taken advantage of. They're the ones who get, hoodwinked or blindsided, again, whatever word you want to use. And so I would just imagine that in today's youthful, technologically savvy world, that it's youngsters that are getting duped by things. It's very, very strange to me. Because when I see... and I'm not even really a big video person. I'm an audio person. So audio for me is a little bit easier to... I can tell when there's something that's fake audio, right? Or it's just not really human. Video, just because I've seen AI generated video now, I kind of get what it looks like. Like it all sort of has the same kind of look to it. It's either, it's almost, the picture's almost too perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost kind of like, that's not shot on a phone because it's just too clear of a picture. Like, I don't know, there's just something that looks different about it. Anyway, so It was around Christmas time that I was at home with my husband. We're watching something on YouTube, and YouTube just interrupts with ads like randomly. Whatever you're watching, it could be mid-sentence, and then all of a sudden it just cuts away to an ad. Like, it's not even a good break of a show or segment or whatever you're watching. Anyway, so there was something that came up where it's clearly to my ear, an AI generated voice, and the video is, again, what appears to be AI generated. So it's this grandmother, and it's for a product. She's talking about how I got this AI dog for my granddaughter. Nobody knows that it's not a real dog. And like I said, the voice, you could just tell. And the audio, in the video too, you're just kind of like, this isn't a way a grandmother would interact. Like, there's just something that's not, the movement, this isn't an old lady, like a real old lady. So when I saw it, I'm envisioning like my grandma, who's, she was sort of hunched over towards the end, but I mean, she was 90. So, but I think of my grandma even playing with my dogs, right? Something similar. And I'm just like, that's not how an old lady moves. Like, there just was something that wasn't quite right about it. So anyway, it was called, the website that linked to it on this YouTube commercial was Get Woofy, Woofy, I don't know, WGET Get, and then Woofy, WFFY.com. So my laptop was beside me on the table, so I ended up getting my computer. When we're watching TV, by the way, at home, we don't have our phones like right beside us or on the coffee table. It's a no phone zone. Like, if we're doing, quality time together, our phones are in the kitchen on the counter. So that's why I couldn't reach for a phone. But anyway, so I had my computer. So I just went, and as the show continued, whatever we were watching. And so I brought out my computer. So I tried to go to getwoofy.com, and I got an alert, not like a warning, something like, this isn't a trusted website. Do you want to continue? One of those kinds of message, like this could be a scam website. Are you sure you want to continue? Kind of a message or prompt. So I just didn't click it. But then what I did was I Googled, what is Get Woofy or Woofy? What is Get Woofy? And then, of course, there's just pages and pages and pages of information where people are saying this is a scam. There's nothing, it's this AI ad that just pulls at the heartstrings, where it's this grandmother getting a dog for the granddaughter and what have you, and nobody knows it's not a real dog, even the kid. And I'm sitting there going, how the fuck do you not know whether it's a real dog? Sorry, I mean, you could even have the best animatronic robotic toy, children's toy, and you still know that it's not real. Like, all of those babies that you remember in the girls' doll section, you'd have all those babies. Some of them maybe kind of looked realistic. At the end of the day, it's not a fucking real baby, right? I mean, come on. So when you see the ad, you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, maybe it sort of looks like it's a real, but if we know anything, that AI is digital stuff on a screen. It's not necessarily something that's right in front of you. Maybe people are thinking they're getting an actual, like, robotic kind of dog that's not a dog. I mean, but even still, I'm watching this ad and then I'm going and reading, and there's so many people that either got duped by it because they said it's like a knockoff. I can't think of the name of the low-end company. They're in the headlines all the time for cheap fashion and shit like that. What is it called? Temu? Is that what you said? Temu? Yeah. So it's basically some kind of like a knockoff toy that it's made in China for, pennies or $1 or something, and then it's sold as whatever this AI, ad is telling you. But again, I'm sitting there going, people fell for this? Really? And again, it goes back to what I was saying, that it's not seniors. Like, these were, parents who were thinking that they were buying something like that for their kid. And I'm just like, oh my God, if the parent is in their late 20s or 30s, they've grown up with social media. So their adult life has been connected in some way to social media. So if the bullshit scams and things that are out there, like, I mean, I could see somebody like my parents are in their 70s. They don't really order stuff online or anything. So it's not, but I don't know. I should have actually sent it to my mom and just said, tell me, what do you think? Do you think this product's real? What do you think of this? Tell me, would you buy it? Would you order it for the grandkids? Like, what would you, I don't know that she would believe it, just because, I don't know, she again would probably think of somebody like my grandma that I was just talking about, her mom, and be like, yeah, that's not how my mom moved when she was, playing with the kids or a puppy or whatever it is. So again, I see these pages and pages of complaints and it's a scam and whatever. Now, let me be clear for the lawyers here. I'm not saying Get Wuffy is a scam. I'm saying this is what I'm reading. And my opinion watching those videos is it looks kind of shady. That's what it is. So like I said, I'm not saying, I don't know. I didn't buy the product, but I steered clear of it because it was suspicious to me, just so our legal team doesn't have any issues. Not that the Wuffy people are going to be listening to this podcast, but you never know. I just, so it was just like, actually, I guess it was sort of fascinating because at some point I had to laugh and go, it seems like a lot of people are duped by this. And then it almost kind of makes me want to get into the scam game if it's going to be that easy to make money, or, so one of the things, with Google now is when I type in what is Get Wuffy. And then it can have, if you click on the left of the search, there's I think it says AI mode or AI something. So then it'll give you a little bit more of a description, right? It'll kind of summarize the web search results, and it gives you a synopsis of like what people are saying or what's on the internet about it. And it was basically that, of people saying that, it's a defective product. It's not real. The customer service, it's hard to reach somebody. You can't return it, or it's hard to return it. And so again, I would think that people are a little bit more resourceful. I'm not saying believe everything that you see or hear on the internet, but you can do a search, read customer reviews. Now, again, you could also take that with a grain of salt, because we know there's companies that either buy fake reviews or write their own fake reviews. I'm a writer, and I have been a professional writer for almost 25 years now. I can look at something and see consistencies and things. So when I go to a review site, I'm looking at the reviews and I can detect when things are most likely written by the same person, or now, given that there's AI, at least written by the same AI program or same AI platform. For instance, like if the headline or the title or whatever of the review has, exclamation marks. When you see that too often, there's something that's suspicious about that. Because yes, you can be a happy customer. I mean, why, and so you just kind of limit the exclamation marks that a consumer has. If it's a product, if it's a toy, or if it's whatever, I mean, are they really that excited? Are they really that enthusiastic about it? And also just common spelling mistakes. I've seen that too, or even just improper capitalization, and I'm kind of going, wait a second, 3 of these reviews kind of have the same theme. It might start out, the first couple sentences are about this, and then it jumps into this, and then it kind of does like a summary. It almost does like a conclusion. So I highly recommend da 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 da. Like there's just something that's sketchy about that. So yes, take reviews with a grain of salt. But if you Google something and it's got pages and pages and pages of people asking, is such and such a scam? Is such and such legit? Is such and such real? I mean, you kind of have to go, okay, I'm connecting the dots. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I mean, that's really kind of what, I don't know. So this Wuffy thing, I mean, I didn't go to the actual website. I didn't want to compromise my computer. I don't know how much the product is. I didn't go to the official site, but there were matches for buying the product from Walmart and then a couple other things. Because you know how Google does that now, right? So if you actually type in a product, it'll show you maybe at the top before your search results, it'll show you the stores online or the places online that you can buy the product. Well, it ranged everything from, I think, $7 to $40-something. So even that alone, I'm kind of looking at it going, if this is such a high-tech product and such a animatronic or AI or whatever word you want to use, $40 seems really cheap for something like that, right? Because if it's going to be very, very technologically heavy or technology-based product, you're looking at, a hefty chunk of change. $7, I'm not getting for $7, I'm not getting a realistic dog that nobody knows is not real. Nah, it's not happening. It's not happening. I just think, like, we have 2 rabbits as well. We have 2 dogs, we have 2 rabbits, and we have a fish. So I'm just thinking about if I've held the rabbits, I laid on the couch with the dogs sleep in our bed. Like, you're going to know what a real dog is. I mean, I don't even, like, AI is not that advanced. It's not. Think about those products that you see. We actually had a company, this is true. We had a company that makes those like adult sex dolls. So the ones that, so it's like a full-sized body, you know, like a full-size human that you basically have sex with, right? We had a company like that. This was years ago. My husband was not happy because they reached out and they offered me a sex man doll. I don't know if you call them a doll, but you know what I mean, right? Those life-sized bodies, basically. And so there's something that's kind of creepy about it. Like, I know that it's not meant to be a real person, right? It's more about the mass, right? The physical weight, height, or whatever of a man or a woman or whatever gender you're doing. But to me, like, I would never look at this and go, this is a real man. Oh my, like, because it's just not. Maybe it feels like it's real skin or body or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm still like, I would be looking at this face that has no expression, doesn't really move, is just kind of there. So I don't know how, that's not something that would get me going. I wouldn't, I don't know. And I've got a hot fucking fitness model bodybuilder husband. Why would I want some toy like that? But again, I'm just kind of like, even it could look so realistic. It's still not a human, and I'm going to know that. Just like a rabbit. If somebody put like an animatronic or, you know, robotic rabbit in the house, I'm going to be like, yeah, not a real rabbit. I don't think technology's quite there yet. So anyway, tell me if you've seen ads like this or products like this that just make you kind of go, wow, do people really fall for it? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. We're going to talk about AI on social media coming up after the break.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
JB here on the Scribble. Something that I talked about, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but it was sometime recently on the show. I talked about how I don't spend much time on social media. Well, I've said that for years, but I logged onto Facebook the other week, and the first match, like, do you remember when you could open up like Instagram or Facebook, and the very first post would be one of your friends or the things that people that you follow, and now it's like an ad or it's something totally unrelated to what you're interested in. So they need to tone down the ads on there. But anyway, so when I opened up Facebook, it was something. It was basically like a dating, singles over 50 or whatever. And then there's this picture of an AI. It was men, really. So I guess my phone knows that I'm a homosexual. So it was like single men over 50. There's an AI image of an old man, either, sitting in a very, very fancy sports car or on a private plane or somewhere European or whatever it is. And he basically says that, I'm lonely. I want somebody to take care of. I have a lot of money. And some of them even said, I'm looking for a poor woman. And I'm like, now, like I said, it's a very, very, very generated AI image. Because again, you just, like, it looks realistic, but there's just something where you're kind of like, not a real dude. But what's fascinating to me is, first of all, not only that Facebook is pushing it to me as though this is something I'm interested in, but also allowing something so fake, because to me that just screams scam artist, even though it's AI. I mean, you're basically saying you want somebody to take care of. So that the next thing I would think of is, oh, okay, great. So people are going to start messaging this account, and he's going to want what? Stuff from them, money from them, right? So I did it. So it popped up actually several different accounts, but they were all kind of along the same line: dating, single, old seniors, whatever, or, man looking for a woman, or, whatever. And it was all the same thing. You don't need to have money. I have money. I'm looking for somebody to take care of. Or it's like, I'm 65 and I'm not the most attractive and nobody will love me. And I just look at them and go, fuck, these bots are so like needy. Like they're a goddamn 16-year-old girl. Like I almost want to write back. I almost want to comment, go get a fucking eating disorder. Like seriously, fuck. But what's worse though, so not just that Facebook is allowing shit like that, but there are hundreds, if not thousands of comments, mostly from women. Mostly, now this isn't me being racist or sexist or anything like that. Most of them are foreign. And now this is fact, because one of them actually literally scrolled through all hundreds or whatever of comments, because it was fascinating to me. How many of them are saying, I'll marry you, I'll come to you, come to me, you can live with me, we will be happy forever and marry me, and I'm like, wow. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that people fall for shit like that. So again, like I was saying before, it kind of makes me want to be a scam artist to know that people are this stupid. But at the same time, going back to the very top of the show, I'm worried about humanity, or the state of the world. Like, are we? I don't know. I used to watch the show Catfish, right? Neve Schulman was on the radio with me many times over the years. And I think at one point, I don't know if it was on the air or if I said it to him off the air when we, either before or after we taped the segment. And I just said to him, are people really that stupid? Oh, it was on air, because I remember, yeah. And I just, like, after all the seasons of even that show, somebody giving you the runaround and always having excuses of why they can't video chat or call you or meet in person. I mean, at some point you have to call bullshit on it. At some point you have to say to yourself, something's not right. Doesn't add up. And trust your instinct. I don't care how fucking charming the person is. I don't care how, this is, excuse me, this is one of the things about, how I met my husband when I was on the radio. He was emailing our radio show from Brazil. And, we had a lot of listeners, and we had a ton of emails all the time from people from all over the world, men, women, whatever. And so, he was just another name that came up in the inbox. There was, it was broken English, whatever, but I was like, okay, fine. You respond because that's the job and you're interacting with your audience. And so the emails got more frequent, and then eventually I got a friend request on Facebook. And so the name looked familiar, but I was like, I don't remember. You have to remember too, when I was on the radio, I was also, I had a best-selling book. I was in the newspaper every week. Like I was doing a lot of work. So the name looked, but I couldn't put it, like, where do I know this name from? And then I was like, oh, okay. I remember that those emails come to the radio show. So when I saw that the person had added me on Facebook, and like I said, he's a Brazilian fitness model and bodybuilder, there was a part of me that was kind of like, this dude ain't listening to the radio in Brazil. He's not tuned into a streaming station hearing me right now. Just because, again, not to say that, let me be clear, I'm not saying that somebody like him would be interested in just a normal, pale, scrawny guy like me. No, I've never said that. But you just kind of look at that and go, well, it's a model guy, and okay, well, here we go. Is he gonna start asking me for money, or is he gonna, marry me, bring me to Canada, and so I was kind of hesitant or skeptical. So I added as a friend, and then he messaged me like either that day or the next day or whatever it was, and so immediately I thought of Catfish because And one of the first things that I said, we had a couple of messages back and forth because he said about the radio and whatever. And I was like, yeah. Immediately I was like, you know what? Video chat. Even though it wasn't anything. I mean, it's not like I was singling on the prowl or whatever. I didn't know this guy from a fucking hole in the ground. it's not like we were flirting or whatever. And so that was one of the things I thought, I'm not going to start to carry on and have personal conversations and interactions now with this person if he's not real. And so when I'd said like, oh, let's video chat, and he did the whole typical, well, I don't, English isn't good and blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of thought, all right, I'm already going to start to bust this dude's balls, because here we go. Now we're already getting the excuses as to why he's not going to talk to me. So what's the point, right? There's no sense in carrying on. I'm not going to fucking waste my time pretending, this is some fake person. I'm going to start opening up about my life. No thanks, not interested. So I just said, oh, I'm a writer, right? I'm a journalist. I'm a broadcaster. English. I can help you with your English. So when he said, okay, and I don't know that we video chatted that day. It might have been the next day or day after something, but it was within a short time frame, because again, I was standoffish. I wasn't going to allow this to go on. When he said, yeah, okay, well, we can talk tonight, I immediately went into that whole catfish thing going, all right, something's going to come up, right? He's going to have an excuse. All of a sudden, my phone died, or phone doesn't work, or the internet went out, or just something. I was waiting for an excuse, so I wasn't getting my hopes up. And then the time comes around, and then whatever time we agreed to, do a video call. So then it starts to ring. I don't remember if I called him or he called me. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so as the call was ringing, I just remember sitting there going, it's going to be some, old, fat, bald dude, or it's going to be some little foreign woman, or it's going to be, I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for it. And then all of a sudden, sure as shit, the guy comes up and it's him. And so just going back to like the whole social media thing, it's kind of like, yeah, I wasn't going to allow myself like that. I went into it skeptical. I went into it thinking this guy's fake. He needs to prove me wrong. I wasn't going into it the other way around, going, I believe. Like, no. Until you need to prove to me right away. And so, he did, and then it was fine for that. But that's just to like look at these people on Facebook of, I'll marry you, I can love you forever, and you come here or I'll come there. And I'm just like, wow, it's so sad that people are falling for this shit, and who knows what they're being taken for. I mean, I just don't know. It's very, very bizarre to me. It's one thing to be, duped by somebody on a dating profile or whatever, but it's another to post it publicly on a page and then have literally, as I said, hundreds, if not thousands of comments of people, single people, foreign people, lonely, sad people. I don't know. I almost feel like it's my duty to comment there and say, people, it's not real. It's not fucking real. It's not. I don't even know. It frustrates me. It's not that I know anybody who's been taken advantage of. I don't know anybody who's been scammed or whatever for something like that. But I mean, how do people not know? Why aren't people, again, in this day and age where people are calling it, everything is fake news, don't believe the news media. Okay, so you're going to believe just randos on the internet? Randos on social media. So for big media outlets, let's say, NBC, CBS, ABC, New York Times, whatever, people don't believe that. People are skeptical. People don't believe what the mainstream media is reporting. Seasoned journalists of decades, decades and decades of work. They're not trusted. But some fucking AI generated image of an old dude who says, I'm lonely. I'm 65. Nobody will ever love me because I'm not the most attractive guy, but I love. It's like, but you're going to believe that. You're going to believe that. I'm like, my hands are over my head like I'm like surrendering almost. I'm just going, how? You have no trust over, corporations, institutions that are reporting news, which, I mean, sometimes they get things wrong, yes. But the fact that the media is the least trusted thing, and some just, I can take care, I want poor women. That's legitimately what several of them have said. It's a picture of an old dude saying, I want to take care, I want poor women to take care of. I want to take care of poor women. You're not going to sit there and go, problem? Or is there a catch? Yeah, you're going to get fucking cleaned out of everything you have, which probably isn't much, but, I don't know. Like, I'm worked up and I'm just sitting going, how are people stupid? Yeah, maybe. See, this is where you're going to say, well, you're blaming the victim. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't buy into this whole everybody's a victim thing, right? It's kind of like when somebody, somebody is jaywalking, crossing the street at the wrong spot, and they get smoked by a car. Well, naturally, everybody's going to say that the jaywalker is the victim. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because, if you're walking out between two cars that are parked and the driver can't see you where you're not supposed to be crossing, I mean, the driver is not expecting somebody to come out where a human should not be coming at that certain time. So, because the car is the big evil machine, that's going to be the bad guy. And the victim is going to be the pedestrian who jaywalked and broke the law. No, I don't subscribe to that. I would say the victim is the driver who just now hit somebody and probably has car damage and is traumatized by what just happened. The victim is not the guy laying on the ground that broke the law and got hurt. That's not the victim. Sorry, it's not. It's not. Now, maybe in the sense of victim being the one who got hit, okay, but no, the pedestrian is not the victim in that scenario. So, am I blaming the victim for somebody who's going to get scammed on the internet? Yeah, I kind of fucking am. Yeah, you're not a victim. You got scammed because you were stupid. That's what it is. I can't stand society that is going to feel like, oh, I got duped, whatever. Well, you know what? Maybe you look into shit nowadays. Like I said earlier, with this whole AI thing and internet and fake news and whatever, I mean, how are people not being a little bit more resourceful when it comes to looking into things? Whether that's somebody who's, proclaiming their loneliness and dedication, I just want love, nobody, oh, I'm unattractive, nobody love me. Meanwhile, it's this hot, ripped dude who does I might not be attractive, but, I mean, you look at that and go, really? Oh, poor guy. Oh, it's a picture of Brad Pitt. Oh, I might not be attractive. Yeah, sorry, Brad Pitt, you're fucking hot. We don't. So whether it's an attention getter or whatever the hell it is, it's scammy when you've got this big muscled dude saying, I'm old. No women will ever want me. I might not be the most attractive, but fuck right off. You know what? You deserve to be scammed if you're going to fall for that shit. You deserve to be scammed. Yep, blaming the victim. Fine. I will. Now, we're out of time. They're telling me we're out of time. Shit. I get into it. I just get so into it. Maybe we're going to do a two-parter. All right, so we're going to end the show here. Yeah? All right, I will continue on my rants about social media, AI, and people just being so goddamn stupid on the next Scribble. My name is Jeremy Bradley. I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com. Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real